If any of these things are being put on your locks, that's a problem. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I hope everything is well. I hope all is going well. And if it's not, it's going to get better. Today, we're going to be talking about the things that should not be going on your locks, from products to ingredients, because these things can definitely damage your locks over time. They can cause a bunch of product buildup, and they can really damage the integrity of your locks. So without further ado, let's get started. My son has had 4 sets of locks total, and this is my first and only set of locks that I have had and will only have. And I'm not a loctician, but I know a lot about lock care and all of those different things you guys see from my healthiest set of locks on my head. And from time to time, I might have people that may ask me to care for their locks. I'm not a professional loctician, but I do know what I'm talking about. So let's get started. The first thing, and y'all know I got my list so that way I can keep y'all focused. Everything is going to be in the description box as well, so you know. Is beeswax, wax, any petroleum-based products, any parabens, any silicones, any mineral oil, any honey, any creams, butters, balms, Ecostyler gels, any gels along those lines, wet lines, any type of gels like that, any type of edge controls. Why should we not be using those things that I mentioned? Because product buildup with locks is not something that instantly occurs. It's a time thing. So if you're constantly using those same products over and over again, you can bet your bottom dollar that you're going to have product buildup in your locks. And the product buildup, when it shows in your locks, it makes your locks look a completely different color. And you're going to be walking around, with that product buildup until you detox your locks. You don't want to have to be the person that has to keep detoxing your locks because you keep using the things that I just mentioned, and if you're just starting to get your locks and you're looking for someone that does locks, you really don't know. And, if it's somebody that just wants money and wants to do locks, they don't care what they use on locks. They just feel like, all right, I'm going to make their locks look good. You need to always, and I talked about this when, if you go on my TikTok, things you need to know before locking your hair, I believe the video was called. And I talk about how you need to do a consultation with the person that's doing your locks to get a feel for their spirit, but also to see what they're using. If they're a loctician, they definitely shouldn't be using those types of things to maintain your locks. If there's somebody that just does locks to get money and they're doing it because, they like, all right, I know this is a wave of where I can make money, definitely question that, because they're not even going to know a lot. They're not going to know. They may not know as much as they should know about locks. Like when you get to a budding stage and stuff like that, like they'll start not being able to answer those questions. So keep that stuff in mind. But if they're a loctician, they shouldn't be using those things because it definitely can cause a lot of buildup. When you do a consultation, ask them about the products that they are using for your hair, because when you ask them about the products that they're using for your hair, you can get a gist kind of to see what's going into your hair, what types of ingredients. You don't want to use those things because they're very heavy, and again, they cause the product buildup. Sometimes, if they're just starting out on doing locks, they may not even know what's best to use for locks. They just want to make your hair look nice and they've been using it. They shouldn't even be using grease. I forgot to add that on there as well, because I've heard about people that do locks using grease. It's like, no, we about to have people out here looking like Slick Rick. Like, we can't be doing that. Like, locks do not require heavy product. They don't require a ton of product. And I think people mix up with locks thinking like it's loose natural hair, and it's not. Like, you don't have to be going crazy with the beeswax. You don't, like, that stuff causes real bad buildup. You definitely want to do a consultation. Ask about the products and ingredients being used. Ask to see their work. Ask about, just different practices of how they do the work. You want to ask all these questions during a consultation. If they start doing your hair and pull out Ecostyler gel, blah, blah, I can't get it together. Ecostyler gel or edge control or grease or beeswax or some type of wax or mineral oil, anything that I've mentioned, get out of that chair and don't let them touch your locks, because it's like, you letting them touch your locks, but you're also setting yourself up for product buildup. And like, that's not something that we want. You don't want to be known as the person that has starter locks and you got to keep detoxing your locks because of the products. You know, if they have been doing locks for some time, they know not to put things in your hair that are going to particularly cause buildup. If they're doing that, that's a problem. That's a real big problem if they're putting that type of stuff in your hair. So, you know, you want to keep that in mind. You know, no Ecostyler gel, no edge control. We not being slick Rick with the locks. We not slicking our locks down when we first get them. You know, we want it to look nice, but we don't want to do all that. I literally use a lock tonic. When you interlock, you don't have to use a ton of product to do that. That's the beauty of that. I'll talk about that type of stuff with interlocking in another video. I'll go more in depth. But when it comes to retwisting, I know we want a nice retwist. Some people just do oil and water. If you're going to do a locking gel, Talia Wajid is a good one. I love that locking gel when I was doing the retwist when I was a part of the gang, or, you know, some type of really good mousse that's not going to cause buildup or weigh your locks down. And also, that stuff that I mentioned is going to weigh your locks down. You're going to, instead of them being flowing and you shake them and stuff, it's like they're not going to be able to move because your locks are so weighed down. So you have to keep that stuff in mind. I'm not a loctician. I don't sit in shops and do hair or any of that. But again, my son has had 4 sets of locks. When I did his first set, I was using the mineral oils, you know, the wax, the Ecostyler gels, the edge control. That stuff really causes buildup to the locks over time and damages the integrity of the locks. You know, some people might argue with me under that, you know, they can do that. I'm not going to say anything back because I know what I'm talking about, because I have a very healthy set of locks. I don't have any product buildup or any of that. And, you know, that's all due to knowing what to use on the locks. Like, we is not trying to be out here like Slick Rick. Like, I'm praying for those that do use those types of ingredients and products that, you know, they stop and they switch over, because it's really not good for the integrity of your client's locks. Now, you know, like I said, I don't do, as of recently, I haven't been doing other people's locks just because I don't be having time for that, for the people with the games and, oh, I'm gonna come and I don't got time for that. But I'm just telling y'all, I'm putting y'all in, when y'all find a loctician, do a consultation so you can get a feel of their spirit and also see what they are using on your locks to make sure that they're not setting you up to have product buildup and, you know, Slick Rick locks or some, you know, Jerry Curl juice locks. Like, you know, you don't have a Jerry Curl with locks, but like, just make sure they're not setting you up for failure, because like, if they doing any of that stuff, they're setting you up for failure. So I hope this helps. I hope this video helps you in choosing a loctician if you're, you know, thinking about starting locks. And I hope it helps you if you have went to somebody that's used those things for you to either, you know, switch, or maybe that, you know, they'll switch, or, you know, you just switch people that you go to somebody that doesn't use those things. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.